Strap on your tool belts and grab a cup of coffee. It's time for My Fix It Up Life with Mark and Theresa. This is My Fix It Up Life, and I'm Theresa, and my husband Mark is on a job site right now, so he might be joining us later on in the show. But today we have an amazing guest, Chip Wade, and I hope he's brought his wife Pauli because she is divine and lovely. They have a new show on HGTV called Wise Buys, and I brought my hat, kind of thinking this is thematic to the name of that show. So let's bring Chip on in and have a little chat. Hi, you guys.
Hi.
You guys are super cute everywhere you are. I was just saying to Mark the other day that you guys look like you just walked off of like a J. Crew photo shoot.
You have a nice hat. It's good.
I thought this was appropriate for the name of your show. Does that work for
That's
Wise
good.
Buys? Yeah.
I appreciate the thematic approach. It's nice.
I try a little bit. I love the clock behind you, and that's an award too. What is that for?
That was proper. That was placement.
That's actually an Emmy for Elbow Room.
Awesome. An Emmy for Elbow Room. So Chip Wade, Pauli Wade, is it so fun to be working together on this show, Wise Buys?
It is. I think when people ask me if I enjoyed it, the thing I enjoyed most was just getting to see Chip more because he does work so hard in such long hours that usually I'm kind of like at home doing the home stuff and working from our home office. But this time I got to kind of tag along and it was really fun. We had lots and lots of fun on set.
So
it's nice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. You talk. You're the guest. I'm just here as like the host, the guide, I guess.
It is. It's so incredible. I mean, you get it, right? Getting to go to work with your spouse. I don't think everybody enjoys that after a long time, but we really, we have 3 little kids. And so any time that we get to spend in kind of adult land is amazing. So, I mean, clearly renovation and design is what I love. And Pauli's passion for real estate and finance. And that's we kind of have our own alleys that we stay within, and she owns her piece entirely and I own my piece. And that way I can become her sous chef in one department and she can become mine in another. So it kind of is a great trade-off.
We actually have that same kind of relationship, Mark and I do, because I think I always say between the two of us, we can pretty much do anything in the realm of like home renovation, DIY. I mean, like I knit and crochet and everything too, as like we can frame walls, we can put on a new roof. Mark can build docks, and like we can do literally like everything. I don't really want to build a dock. It sounds terrible being in the water.
You want to sit on the boat at the dock is what it is.
I will watch him do that. Like I always say to him, he's my favorite home improvement show. So sitting and watching him work is just such a treat. So when you guys were in Vegas for the builder show and the kitchen and bath industry show, do you do like we do when we travel and we're like, oh, it's so good to be able to go to bed and not have to like pack lunches or do any of that stuff?
Well, we're still in diapers. So that was super fun to not have to change a diaper for like 4 days.
Mm-hmm. I kept my pants clean all week.
You know, Chip Wade, that's what I like about you is being able to keep your underpants clean during the day. That's a good feature in a man, I think.
It's a good skill. It's not a detractor.
Do you have it like on your resume, like your special skills?
Yeah, I keep it in my mirror, like on the bottom of my mirror, so I look at it every morning because motivation.
That's actually a really good benchmark to meet. So, okay, so Wise Buys, it's an adorable name for a show, and I love it. And it just aired like 5 times, I guess, in the last week on HGTV. Now, what's been the feedback that you've gotten from fans? I guess, Chip, you're probably getting lots of comments about how pretty your wife is and how amazing she is. Am I right?
Well, yeah. Well, once I can weed through all that, which is clearly what the dominant feature is on the show, people are really responding really well. It's kind of a different approach to these somewhat common real estate and design shows, which is really what we were trying to create. We really wanted to create what we're calling like the smart version. So it's not just like such generic tips of, go and find a distressed property and renovate it, of course, right? Get it cheap and put sweat equity into it, and it's great. It's really more about creating the more of a stewardship approach from every single client's budget and looking at properties that they would possibly never even review the listing to begin with. And then that's where I come in and I review these properties and really cast a vision in real time for really what's possible. That's a personalized approach that's not just focused exclusively on resale. Even though clearly we acknowledge that, it's really more about that personalized approach to finance, budgeting, design, and renovation, ultimately to give clients the full circle approach, kind of the responsible, smart approach to really what you should be doing.
That's really good. I kind of really like that about echo now. Yeah. Do you hear the echo, or is it just me?
Nope, no echo here.
Okay, cool. Then you're fine. So I really like that about your show, Elbow Room, too. That you use all your engineering background to make things out of crazy stuff and make things pop out of walls and do weird things that I don't really see on other shows or from other DIY experts. You know what I mean? So you're bringing a little bit extra flavor, into the show and the whole experience. Because I think a lot of us love watching house hunters and watching people shop for a house. And it's just sort of like a nice little chill moment to be able to watch someone experience that, but then bringing a little extra chip into it, I think makes all the difference in the world. Your 360, what is it? 360 VR. I showed it to my son, Jack. He's 7 and he's an obsessed, he calls himself a YouTuber. He's obsessed with videos and apps and his little iPad and stuff. I showed it to him. He's like, "This is the best app ever. This is so cool." And he actually asked me to go on again later. So huge props about that. And
awesome.
I think we have to take a pause for a second so that our producer can pop in a commercial for us.
Sanding walls before you paint? Do it the Hyde way, not the hard way, with Hyde's dust-free sander. Attach to your wet dry vac and go. No drywall dust on your furniture, no tough cleanup when you're done. Buy online at Amazon.com.
So, Pauli, what's it like working in Chip's world of being on TV and being on a TV, the whole TV job site kind of experience?
Well, it was interesting to say the least. I've watched Chip be on TV for over 8 years now, but never experienced that. And there were things I anticipated being really, really hard that were actually easier. I think it's because when I thought about talking to the camera, it was so intimidating, but to realize the guy behind the camera was the same camera guy that's been with Chip for 8 years, they're good friends. So they really helped me think about it as talking to friends, talking to people. So that came easier, but then there were other things I wasn't expecting that were super hard. Doing a voiceover, that was so challenging to me. I'm sure this is right in your wheelhouse, talking in a way that's animated and natural. And it just was so challenging. And I didn't even think about that beforehand. But I had to do it.
Are you because of that, are you reading books to your kids differently now?
Right. Lots of animated.
Very articulate.
Yeah. Seriously, I think that has affected the way that I read books, too, to the kids, because then you start thinking about it and you want to make sure you get it right on the first read and you want to use all of your excitement in it. And I think it does change that delivery. In anything that you do, I think it sort of leads into it. Okay, so I know that it was just one episode that aired, and was the pilot? Are they buying more episodes? When are we going to see more of Wise Buys?
Well, yeah, so it was just a pilot and we aired it. And like I said, I'm very hopeful that it did really, really well. They're reviewing it right now and kind of looking at all the metrics on it, and hopefully enough people tuned in. And all the comments online and everything that I've received have been really, really positive. And I think people are latching on to a lot of the things that we wanted to differentiate ourselves with. So that's a good thing. So it's not just another kind of version of the same show over and over again. But yeah, we'll know very soon if we're going to be making more, and I'm sure it won't be long at all before I'm neck deep in another design and shooting another version. So it'll probably at the earliest be later in the year. But
well, the Sabrine is saying that you guys are super cute and that you have a big clock. You do have a big clock. Now, I've seen that kind of clock before. Did you customize the clock that's behind you on the mantle?
Actually, no, that one was just a nice little find. Sometimes it's way cheaper to buy things than to make them. That's probably a great differentiator between knowing how to best utilize your time when you're creating something custom. For a decor item like this that doesn't technically have a absolute function, I think the clock actually does work, but I think most of the time I keep it without batteries in it. So it's really mainly for decor. I can go and found objects like this fairly inexpensively, where I like to focus on creating custom things from scratch that actually have a personalized function. That really more prioritizes your time and allows you to really get more meaning out of the time that you spend making something. So again, people are like, should I make this? Well, maybe. I mean, just because you can, if you have time, that's great. But if you're going to prioritize, there are certain things that you'll get more benefit from.
You did make the actual fireplace mantle, though.
I did.
With the guy.
Yeah, I made what's below it, and I have made. Now, don't get me wrong. I have made a clock. I have made a clock before for a client. I actually made a gigantic 16-foot tall solid wooden gear clock that was fully functioning, and it took me like 100 man hours.
Was that on an episode of one of your shows?
It was.
Okay, I saw that. That was amazing. You are the amount of your work with detail and precision is exemplary. I think that you're the most precise creator that is on any kind of home improvement show. And
thank you.
For real, it's just I'm in awe of because we all sort of make stuff and we create stuff, and I think that a lot of people in this space sort of come from an artistic point of view, or I like to make things kind of thing. But you're I swear, you're I already know every single bolt and every single whatever when you're imagining it and dreaming about it, I would think, because in order to execute that level of precision, you kind of have to do. So what's it like? Because you both are technical people. You come from sort of, a finance and engineering. So what's it like when you plan out what you're doing for a weekend at your house? Is it a big negotiation?
Shockingly, I think we go to the other extreme and go completely freeform. Our life is very regimented and organized. My office, everything has to be perfectly clean and in place for me to be able to kind of think and feel organized.
That's one of the dynamics that we found out. We can share a bathroom. We cannot share an office.
No, she's a lot messier than I am, for sure.
I just need paper, and he can't handle paper
everywhere.
At all.
Yeah. So my husband and Mark and I can't share an office. It's because I talk all day long and he can't he wants to be super laser beam focused. And I just sort of chat while I work, and it doesn't, But that's good. Your boundaries. People ask us all the time, so how do you work with your spouse? And do you have I know you already shared one thing, that you guys are sort of the captains of different things and you're her sous chef and vice versa. But are there a couple other things for people that are watching and listening that you guys implement in your life that make it easier to work together?
Well, I think it's also when we're going to have a conversation, we kind of preface it what type of conversation it is. Is this a business relationship or a conversation, or is this a relationship conversation? And we actually have those conversations in different places in our house, so that it sets the tone of how we're going to talk to each other. For a business conversation, you kind of have to set your feelings aside. It's about productivity, it's about efficiency, and it's about, working together. And if there's something that's bothering me, I come to Chip in a totally different way to talk to him about how he's talking to me or how he's treating me. And that's a different conversation. And he's going to respond differently to me as a coworker than he does as a husband. So if I have a relational thing I need to address with him, I'm going to do that in a different way. And actually, for me, it's better in a different setting than our work setting.
Wow. Okay, so we have to take another break, but we will be back in just a second with more of my Fix It Up life.
It's time to bring beauty back in your next project by seeing red. Born to beat the elements, Western Red Cedar is awesome for outdoor rooms, decks, fences, pergolas, and more. Inside, Cedar's a sweet choice for hope chests, highlight walls, and woodworking projects, big and small. Stable, chemical-free, and safe, Cedar's a natural choice. So bring beauty back to the yard and punch up projects inside the house. For more information and ideas, see red at wrcla.org.
So this is my Fix It Up life, and we're talking with the lovely couple from Wise Buys, HGTV's new show, Chip and Pauli Wade. And I am so delighted to be talking to you because we were just talking about how to work together with your spouse and on anything. And changing the location, I think, is such a smart piece of advice because I've never tried that in my relationship with my co-host and my partner in life, Mark. Because I have spaghetti brain. I'm just like, I go boom, boom, boom from one thing to the next in my head. And so it's separating personal from work is so hard for me, and he needs that. And I'm really glad for this piece because I think other people that are listening and watching will get so much out of change the location and then only talk about that one thing. You are a smart lady, Pauli.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
So
I mean, also doing the whole, also like include some guidelines even about like what you're going to be doing in those times. The biggest thing I think probably for y'all too is even eliminating the amount of social media that you're able to do in those conversations, like kind of like literally like putting your phone off to the side so you can focus and not be updating Twitter every 3 seconds and not, just because an awesome new email came through that you kind of catch a glimpse of. I know, exactly.
I have to tell you what you just said. It's really important.
I know, right? But that's the challenge. And so we even have to do things to where when we have personal conversations, we try not to even check social media. We actually try not to even talk about the kids because that's kind of the next phase of things that kind of infiltrates and detracts away from us actually being able to talk about us. Is first, most of the time during the day, we talk about our work, and then we feel guilty that we're, sometimes not being able to spend as much time with the kids as we want. So we start talking about what they're doing at school, but then we end up not actually having any conversation between us. So setting those types of guidelines where you kind of say work, even some of like your children and other activities, put that off to the side. Let's focus on what we're doing together. And then everything seems to work a little better.
You guys are amazing. Okay, I want to do this thing that we call 17 questions. I don't think we did that with you the last time we talked. Is that a true story?
I'm not sure. We didn't do 17, that's for sure.
Okay. So it's like a riff on Vogue has this series that they do on YouTube called 73 Questions. And if you haven't seen it, it's kind of really charming. So they follow around a celebrity in their house and then ask them all these different questions. And it takes like a couple of minutes and it's really fast paced kind of Q&A. So we have a bunch of questions that we're now asking our guests. And I would love for you guys to answer. You ready? They're all easy questions.
Sure.
Okay. What was the last thing you ate?
I haven't eaten.
I haven't eaten yet today, but I guess last night, what did we eat last night? We're doing horrible already.
Barbecue.
This is an easy question.
Yes, I ate some chicken wings. Chicken wings, lemon pepper, smoked. Very good.
You guys need to eat something. Cocktails or coffee?
Coffee.
Both.
Okay, I'll take that. Dinner party or after party?
Dinner party.
Dinner party.
Pop of color or explosion of color?
Pop for me.
It depends.
Okay. Glitter or wood?
Wood.
Wood.
All right. Plane or train?
Train.
Mm-hmm. That would be fun.
Current favorite design trend?
Probably facets.
Okay, I'll take that. Grand chandelier or mini pendants?
I would say mini pendants.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have worn today if you didn't wear what you have on right now?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
I love that. Okay, that works.
Probably a different pair of jeans.
I like that. Grill master or chill master?
We do have 3 grills, so
I
I
would
would
say
say
grill.
grill.
Okay. Eat in or eat out?
Eat out.
So, Chip, are you among the crowd? How many flannels do you own?
I own more than I am years old. So how's that?
That's a
I don't
big
even know.
HGTV. Everybody on HGTV has like a gazillion flannels. I think.
Well, do you know what the deal is? It's actually become, well, back when we were, started buying all these clothes, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that's all that was in the store. I mean, literally they're everywhere. Even like the designer stuff still has some level of plaid. It's plaid that is the key. So I actually try to avoid wearing plaid as much as I can, but it's inevitable sometimes.
Well, there's a running feud between Lori March and I think it's Anthony Carino, where they're trying to have more flannel shirts than the other. And Lori has how many? 57.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious. Okay, favorite thing.
We'll have to do a behind the scenes closet tour because I might be able to beat her on that if we were to actually go. Really.
She actually color coordinates them, so they're all by you would love that. Actually, you would be
little Roy.
I love it. You have to keep the colors in sequence so you know what's going on.
I don't do that in my closet. I do that with my books. Okay, so
but it doesn't count for Lori because Lori is this big and she's ultra skinny, so her shirts are only this big and mine are this big. So
that is a true story, actually. Yeah, she is a really tiny girl with a giant.
I have 9 times the material.
Well, how many questions am I at? I'm getting 15. 15? Okay, we'll have 2 more. Okay. Favorite thing to cook?
Spaghetti.
Okay.
Steak.
Birthday cake or birthday suit?
Of course. Are you kidding? Again, both.
What's better way to eat your birthday cake than in your birthday suit? I wonder how many people do that for reals. And please don't send me pictures. I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. So what else are you working on now? I know you're working on the pilot. We have just 1 minute left, and I want to be able to, where can we all find you guys?
Actually, if you visit our new website, it's called wadeworkscreative.com, Wadeworks Creative. You can see basically all of what we're doing now, which is architecture and design, real estate. And then the creative branch is more of the custom built pieces, public art, and some of this cool new production 360 environments that we're creating. So it's just it's a nice little place where you can see inspiration, where you can find us to do services and really anything kind of with what we've been talking about.
Well, I know that my husband, Mark, and I are huge fans of you, Chip, and we're so delighted to now be fans of you, Pauli. And my son, Jack, is a giant fan of you because I said to him something about, remember that really cool app? He thinks it's an app, really cool app that we were using the other day. And he's like, yeah, Chip Wade. I'm like, oh my gosh, you remember his name and everything. That's awesome.
I love it. Well,
yes.
we'll have to send him something fun.
Oh my gosh, he would be over the moon. Like, he loves what you're doing, and I love how creative and how personal you make all of your creations on TV. And in real life, your shop is still like the number one shop I've ever seen in my entire life. So thank you guys for joining us on My Fix It Up Life. And definitely go to wadeworkscreative.com. We follow Chip on Twitter, and now we follow Pauli too. And your Twitter handle is?
Just Pauli, Pauli, Wade, Wade.
Perfect. Chip Wade and Pauli Wade. You can find out what they're up to next. And thanks for joining us for another episode of My Fix It Up Life. Tune in next time.
Thanks so much for having us.
We're out. So thank you guys. You guys rule. And absolutely. So what are your kids' names before we say goodbye? Can you tell me?
Mac is our oldest. He's 7. And then Mara is 4. And then JT is 2.
Oh my gosh, you've got your hands full.
Oh, sorry. Doorbell.
And that's it. Yeah, that's all the time we have. Thank you guys. Appreciate
all right.
it.
See ya.
Take your inspiration into real life with Shoreline paint products. From easy pour and store paint can lids to tools that help give you a perfect line. For more information, check out shoreline.com.